Let's take a quick hit at the guy that I stood next to, Carson Beck, at the national champs game, and I've never been around him. He's a giant. I mean, he's
What'd you
got it
think?
all. I mean, I didn't like the fact over his career he just turns the ball over. I loved the game against Ole Miss. I loved how he improved, but just standing there watching him as a former recruiter and coach, I was blown away. How big, how his body looked great, and he finished strong. But there was a time where I just quarterbacks turn the ball over, or they're
A liability.
I mean, it becomes a major liability. So I just wonder, what's your thought on him after that playoff run? Because I'm telling you, have you stood next to him yet?
Yes, I did a few years ago, and I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
So what's your thoughts?
kind of intoxicating, right? Like, and he throws the ball well. He's got energy on it. I thought he moved a little bit better this year. He's a tough one for me, man. I think you probably have a better vantage. I mean, I know you have the best vantage point of all of us when it comes to it. Like, how important is trust with a quarterback, right? I had lost trust in Carson Beck after the 2024 season. And through the summer, if I'm being honest, like turning the ball over, looked like he was just playing tight. Georgia doesn't let big time players get away if they're not kind of like, yeah, you can have them, And then it's like Cavender twin drama, Lamborghinis bought, Lamborghinis stole. It just felt like it was all encompassing. But then I started hearing these kind of reports out of Miami in about August of like, no, like he's a different cat. Like he's playing fun. He's having fun, playing loose, more decisive. Trust this offense. Trust he's got some targets around him that he like feels good about. Getting the ball out on time. Receivers aren't working as much for it. Most importantly, teammates love him.
Yeah.
He's there early. Like, don't get all the headlines mixed up with what's actually going on in this building.
I'm glad to hear that, because I did not hear that as much. I heard the prior stuff.
Yeah. And so
early in the season, there was lots of positivity around him in the Miami program.
Right.
And throughout the year. So,
but you don't know whether you trust it or not until you see it. And then that Notre Dame game, you saw a guy who the teammates were just flocking to, and he was playing. He looked like he was finally having fun playing the game he loves again, all that stuff. And then there was that midseason where he had the turnovers, and you're like, uh-oh, he's back. And then worst of it, he comes out and there's a couple press conferences where he's pointing fingers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, here we go. But then I talked to a couple of scouts that are like, yeah, no, he said it and we don't love it, but he wasn't wrong. And he thinks that there are people in this program that need the bar elevated. And it was his message to them. And then you see Miami the second half of the year after those two games, and they come on again. And it's almost like he lit that fire. And then you see him in the playoff and he's protecting the ball and doing so he's been fascinating to watch.
I'll add this because I witnessed it, and all coaches, you get that ego, and you see that big, good-looking athlete.
Yep.
So I'll coach them better than that other guy that was coaching them. But what happens, Mark? Most of the time they go back to being what you are, who you are. But don't devalue if a staff really believes in a guy and use that word trust. I've been lucky. I've had really, really great quarterbacks. There's been a handful, not even that, a couple of times you just don't trust it. You are paralyzed as a play caller, as a head coach.
Yeah.
Because you can't really go win the game. You wait in that position, you have to go win those close games.
Yeah.
Speaking of size,
here we go.
One of the more polarizing guys out there is Diego Pavia, right? So Vanderbilt listed him at 6'0". It's probably a lot like me.
Mark's
it's a lot like me going to the DMV. They're like, Mr. Stone, how tall are you? And I'm like, this is my chance. This is my chance, right? I'm gonna upgrade my height, right?
Yeah.
Who's gonna stop me? No one's gonna stop me. But he got stopped at the Senior Bowl, right?
He did.
So,
yes.
So he got listed at 5'9" in some type of fraction or something.
5097, which is 5'9" and 7/8 of an inch. And it's like, at that point, can you just slip
Just
the
give me
scout?
5'10".
That's how they did me.
Just
wear
give me
2 pairs of
5'10".
socks.
Flip, like, just hand him $100 or something. Just
right,
give me
right. So
give me the 5100. Make me a 5'10", please.
So kind of a two-parter. Number one, like, how much does the height matter overall, and for a guy like Diego? And then what was the takeaway from the, I guess maybe we'll try to call it the new look Diego after the whole Heisman debacle?
It was interesting watching Diego at the Senior Bowl, right? Height absolutely matters. I mean, Coach just gave you kind of that perspective of it. You have to be really special to overcome. It's one thing to be like 6 foot 6'1". It's another to be 5'10", 5'11", right? Bryce Young was really special, and he's still kind of overcoming that in the league, but did some really good things this year. Russell Wilson, another shorter guy, special. It's hard to overcome. Then you watch him throw the football, and he doesn't throw it quite like Bryce, certainly doesn't like Russell Wilson. And he's mobile, and he can kind of run and do some things, but it's not like that suddenness where it's like, you know? And so I watched him on the field, and it was interesting because you watch him, and at the Senior Bowl, it wasn't like great quarterbacks. It was Nussmeier was the best of the group. Altmaier was really good because he's just so smart and efficient. Sawyer Robertson's a big, talented guy who can run a little bit, a big arm from Baylor, still kind of a developmental guy. Cole Payton from North Dakota State was mobile, kind of the ball just rips out of his hand. He was intriguing to watch. And then there was Diego. Just one of these doesn't fit. You know what I mean? Like the ball just doesn't come out with a lot of juice. He's mobile and creates, but that week is about 3, 5, 7-step drops, pocket, on time, making throws. But then you get into team sessions, and he always was kind of moving it along, right? Like finding ways, like weird arm angles, falling off of throws, doing all sorts of like funky stuff, but was moving the offense along. I'm not drafting in the NFL. I don't. It's like, how many exceptions do I want on my roster? That whole theory. I don't think he's going to be an NFL. I'll be shocked if he's an NFL starter. I don't even know how much value you have as a backup, if I'm being completely honest. But he's just a damn good football player, and it's hard to say that because I have so much respect for what he did in the SEC and the way he overcame what he had to overcome. And I don't know if it's in the UFL or what it is, but like I'd hate the fact that like that might be the end of his career because he's just a really good football player. So it's a tough spot to be in because I respect the hell out of what he is and how he's done it. I don't appreciate the antics off the field and some of that stuff. But in terms of like put the helmet on, go lead 10 other men, and it's a game situation. I got a lot of trust, and he's going to find a way to do it. I just don't know if he can do it in the NFL.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Now, to me as a player, I'm like, man, just turn on the tape and watch me play football and evaluate me like that. So we've seen the East-West Shrine game. We've seen the Senior Bowl. We got pro days coming up. We got scouting combine come up. How do teams prioritize drills versus interviews versus turning on the game tape and being like, hey, this guy's just a footballer, and I want a footballer on my team?
I think the really good teams at evaluating and drafting players rely very, very heavily on the tape. And we're doing this drill this year. I'm fed up. I've had enough. I'm getting too old. I've done this too many times. I'm going to put together a list of my top 50 football players. Throw out their heights and their weights, their 40 times, their jumps, their character concerns, their injury history, all of it. Who are the best 50 football players?
Can you play football?
And I'm curious because this is the first time I'm going to do it. I'm going to post this list, and I'm going to go back and look every year from now on. Were those 50 guys better than the 50 guys I had ranked after all that other noise got involved? And who knows? Maybe it'll be a bunch of convicts and guys on IR and like an exceptions to the rule, and it'll be an interesting. But like, they're just I saw two of them at the Senior Bowl. This guy Bud Clark from TCU, instinctive, nose for the ball, interception every day in practice, just was always in the right spot. And then Kyle Lewis from Pittsburgh. He's only 6 foot, 223. It's like 5'11", 223. Can he play? I don't know. Every time the ball was snapped, he was in the backfield or forcing a fumble or picking the ball up. Jacob Rodriguez. 2 forced fumbles and an interception. Like, those things don't go away just because you're playing at the next level. It's figuring out how to overcome some of the less than ideal measurables or whatever it is. I don't know. I think we get this process sometimes blinds all of us, and it's like a paralysis by overanalysis. And so the older I get in this, the more I rely so much more on the tape than I ever did.
I would invest in your top 50 football players.